started. Fantastic. And here we go. Now, as we always do, I will be kind of going back and forth, just making sure everyone's in. So every once in a while, I will be coming back to the screen to help you guys along with that. I am going to copy the link for the PDF that we were going to go off of. I'm going to put it in the chat. So you guys can follow along if you'd like. You can follow along with this link in the chat. Feel free to follow along. And if my communication, my mic does go out, just let me know. Hopefully you shouldn't. I've had 2 Google meetings today and it has not. So if it does, I will blame one of you. So let's get started. So first off, I hope everyone is healthy and safe. It's been really fun hearing how you guys have all been doing. I've really appreciated and enjoyed seeing you guys these past couple weeks. Thank you for all your support. It truly means a lot to all of us. As we slowly start to get back into the swing of things, just can't say it enough. Thank you so much. And with that, we're going to get started on open turns. Before we do that, make sure everyone's in. Fantastic. So we talked about flip turns last week. So now we're going to talk about open turns and the crossover turn. Somewhere Gabby Blake just went, ooh, because she's a little nervous about the crossover turn. So why are the turns important? Just a quick little recap. Turns are the second fastest you'll ever be in a race. The first fastest obviously being a start. So if you do a turn correctly, you'll have a major advantage over everybody else. If you nail your turn, you're going to be off the races. You're going to be able to maintain your speed and momentum, and you'll be ready to rock and roll. Turns can be very inconsistent within the same race, from race to race in the same race. So it's really important that you guys really practice them and really work on making them consistent. So in every race, they're the exact same, or there's very little variation. And like we talked about last week, turns are one of the most 2 obvious things you can see from the stands. So someone who knows nothing about swimming can watch a turn and go, well, they went into the wall ahead, now they're behind. Something's up with that turn. So turns are very important and very obvious things that we can work on. And finally, the crossover turn, it's important to work on that because it's the quote unquote, it's the hard turn. It's so hard to do. You're wanting me to do a crossover turn and a breaststroke pull down. It's so hard. Get used to it. It's the hard thing to do, but it's the fast thing to do. It's the right thing to do. And it looks professional. When you do a crossover turn, when you're 11, 12, 13, 14, you have an even bigger advantage over everyone who does not do it. So it is very important that we work on and get better at crossover turns. Definitely got to get Ari in here. So we're going to look at some catechisms. Now, very similar to last time we did this, there's no real set of catechisms for turns, but there's some stuff that we look for a lot in turns that we're going to talk about. So we're going to look at our good friend, Kevin Cordes. We're going to look at this video quite a bit. It's a very good video. So I'm going to put it on loop. Fantastic. So the first thing is by far the most obvious and the most important thing. If you do anything other than this, you will get DQ'd. No other part of this will get you DQ'd. So most important thing, 2-hand touch. Whenever you do an open turn, you have to do a 2-hand touch. Touch with 2 hands every time you do it. It's the most important thing. Anything else in the turn after that is gravy. You will not get DQ'd for anything else after that. But if you touch with 1 hand, you will get DQ'd, and then we will get sad, and we'll have to keep working them in practice. So the next thing we're looking at is what you do after you touch the wall. So I'm going to try to give it a good pause here. I have it on the sheet, but I'm going to give you guys a good view of it in person on the video. So after you touch with 2 hands, so give it a good pause. Look at, he's touched, and look what happens right away. His left elbow drives towards his ribs, and his right arm bends. Right arm bends, left arm drives towards his ribs. Right arm bends, left arm drives towards his ribs. Now, this is important that we don't flip it, because if you flip it and do left arm bends and right arm drives, you'll be turning right side down, which is what we don't want to see. Sorry, left side down. We want to see right side down. So this is the most important, one of the most important steps right here. Right arm bends. Look how much he's bending right here. Left arm drives towards the ribs. Think of the open turn as a push. The more you bend, the better push you're going to get, and the better your turn's going to be. Make sure everyone's in real quick. Fantastic. So, as you can see, right arm bends, left arm drives. After that, you'll see he brings his knees to his chest. Knees to his chest. So he's driving his knees into his chest. He's not bringing them to the side. He's not spinning. He's driving them towards his chest. He's pushing off with that right hand, driving his knees into his chest. He is, boom. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look in full motion before we go to our next video. See if you can spot the touch with two hands, the bend and the drive, and the knees to the chest. So here he comes into the wall. Good breaststroke, former American record holder. Touch, drive, boom. Excellent. So we're going to come back to that video in a little bit. We're going to take a look at now one of my favorite videos for the turns, for doing open turns, for teaching them. You probably have seen this quite a bit. This turn quite a bit if you're in age group 1 and junior 1. You've probably seen this video many, many, many times, but I think this is the best progression for doing open turns. So we're going to watch this video a couple times. What I want you to look at for this one are the catechisms, obviously. The two-hand touch. The left elbow drives, the right arm bends. The knees to the chest. But what you also look at is stay low. I want you to, as he progresses through these progressions, I want you to notice how he is staying low the whole time. He's not pulling himself up and out of the water. He is staying low. Stays low. So this is our second progression right here. So he's doing the turn with one hand, but look how low he is staying in that water. He's doing just enough where you can get a good breath in, and that's about it. He is not pulling himself out of the water. So I said, if you've been in age group 1 and junior 1, you've seen this video many times. It's probably the best video for doing turn progressions, especially open turns. Look how low he was on that turn right there. He's doing just enough so he can breathe, get right back down. So we've talked about two-hand touch. The left elbow drives towards the rib. The right arm bends. The knees to the chest. You're staying low. And now we already talked about Kevin Cortis. You need to push with that right arm. The turn is a push just as with your arm, just as much as it is with your legs. So push with that right arm. You can see him doing it right here on my screen. You want to push with that right arm. I can't tell you times I see someone do a turn and they touch the wall and then they just drive with their legs. There's no push in their turn. You have to make sure you are pushing off that wall with your right arm. So in all these videos, you can see him pushing off with that right arm. And then finally, you want to make sure you are driving with your legs. That's our last catechism. Drive with your legs. Drive off that wall. So you want to attack the wall, you bring your knees to your chest, and then drive off that wall. Like we talked about in our flip turns, you want to sink into that wall a little bit and really get a good push off. You don't want to just touch with your toes. You want to drive off with those legs. So we're going to watch this one more time. I want you to look at two-hand touch. What he does with his left elbow, it drives towards his ribs. His right arm bends. How he drives his knees to his chest. He stays nice and low in the water the whole time. He pushes with that right arm. And he drives with his legs. Pushes off that wall nice and hard. Push with your right arm. Push with your legs. Drive with your legs. Boom. Look how low he is in that water. He's looking great. When we get back in the water, especially in age group 1, get used to watching this video. Because this is once we get back in, it'll be a great time to work on our turns. You'll have lanes to yourself for the most part. It'll be a great time to work on your turns. Because you won't have to worry about ramming into people. It's going to be a great time. All right. So moving on ahead, just make sure we're all in here. Fantastic. So moving on ahead, we talked about our catechisms. So now we're going to talk a little about Coach's Corner. We're talking about finishing on a full stroke. So if you noticed on all those videos we just watched, especially Kevin Cortis, we'll bring that up again. He's finishing on a full stroke. He's not jamming in the wall, giving it a kiss, and he's not stretching out super long. He's finishing on a full stroke. So how do you practice that? Well, if you're doing butterfly, You got to know your kick count. You got to make that kick count consistent. So if you do 9 kicks, got to make sure you're doing 9. If you're doing 5, you got to make sure you're doing 5. You have to know how many kicks you're doing. Then you have to know your stroke count. How many strokes are you doing? If you're doing that third 25 and 100 butterfly and you're doing 5 kicks and 9 strokes, got to make sure that 9th stroke, you're touching that wall. Now, we've talked about this a little bit in the race analysis clinics. If you're doing 5 kicks and 9 strokes and you're too close to the wall, maybe you got to add a kick and subtract a stroke. And if you're getting too close to the wall, maybe you need to take off a stroke and add a kick. There's a lot of different variables that you can do to make sure that you are finishing on a full stroke, either adding or subtracting kicks or adding or subtracting strokes. But you have to make sure that you are consistent with it. You are consistent in practice, you're consistent at meets. Because if you do 9 kicks and 3 strokes at practice, but at a meet in that 100 fly, you do 5 kicks off your third turn, we're in trouble because now it's random. Now we don't know what's about to happen. So make sure you stay consistent. And finally, our timing. If you know going into a turn that you're going to be too far or too close, you have to adjust ahead of time. So if you're going to be too close when you're at the flags, you're like, uh-oh, I just finished a full stroke and I'm almost at the flags already. You got to make a little adjustment. You're going to take a little bit of a faster stroke or you got to take a little bit of a longer stroke. Make sure that you're either doing 2 long strokes or 3 fast strokes. Same thing with breaststroke. If you see that you're going to be at a weird spot at the flags, either take more shorter strokes or less longer strokes. But you have to make sure that you practice it. Practice at the walls being 3 fast strokes instead of 2 long strokes. Give it a try. But the timing is very important. Kick count, stroke count, and timing. That is how you always finish on a full stroke. So we'll watch a little bit this later when we do our race videos, but they are almost always finishing on a full stroke. Nothing is left to chance. So we'll come back to this video in a little bit. Thank you, Mr. Kevin Cordes. Make sure everyone's in. Fantastic. So finish on a full stroke. Next, the feet position. So with flip turns, we talked about your feet are at 11 o'clock. That's where your feet want to be on a flip turn. Straight up and down is noon. Feet are at 11. For open turns, as you can see here, your feet are more at 9 o'clock. Your feet are more at 9 o'clock. They're a little more parallel to the cross part of the T. Feet are more at 9. And it happens because you are a little bit, when you're driving those knees in and you're pushing off, you're rotating a little bit, so you're almost on your side when you push off. You kind of saw the video. Let's take a look at Ryan Lochte real quick. That's a great spot right there. Look at his feet right there. 90 degrees with his knees. Nice line with his body, but look at where his feet are. Let's watch this a couple times, see how he gets there. And look at that good push-off. So let's watch this video a couple times. Comes in, bends, drives, brings his knees to his chest, pushes off the wall. Look at where his feet are, 9 o'clock. Gets a good push. That's a good turn right there. Bends, drives, knees to his chest, feet at 9 o'clock, and push. Let's watch it one more time. Bends, drives, knees to his chest, feet at 9 o'clock, and he pushes off. Awesome. We're going to come back to that video. Let's stay on this video. The last one we're going to talk about, last part of Coach's Corner for open turns, is about head position. So I'm going to give it a pause where I just had it. So I'm going to notice where his head is during this turn. A lot of times when we tell people to stay low, they're like, all right, I'm not going to breathe on my turn. I'm going to keep my head low the whole time. I'm not even going to breathe on my turn. Bad idea. You need to turn. You need to breathe on your turn, especially with butterfly when you're doing underwaters. So look where his head is. He's taking that last breath right there, right at the surface. His right arm is now off the wall. He's about to connect his streamline, and his head is breathing right there. He's getting one last breath. Now his head's under. He's still connecting his streamline, and there he goes. So when you stay low, that also means you got to have a quick, low breath. So you come in, you bend. As you're pushing off, you're going to create a little water bubble, a little air bubble that you can breathe out of, and you're going to get a good push. Make sure you get a good sneaky breath while staying low when you're doing that turn. We're going to watch this one more time, then we're going to go back to the progression video just so we can take a look at that breath, because he does a great job with his butterfly of taking a nice low breath. So keep your head nice and long. Don't bury it. Don't look straight behind you. Don't look towards your toes. Keep it nice and long so that when your head enters, you're looking straight ahead. And in straight ahead, in this case, you're looking kind of at the side of the pool. I don't want to say straight forward because then you'd be looking straight forward at the other side of the pool. It would be bad. So let's watch the progression video one more time, just so we can take a look at how low of a breath he has. Does his turn. Look at that. You can barely even see him breathe. That's how low his breath is, but he's still getting it. Keeps his neck and head nice and long. He's not breaking his line. So you think about it. If you bend your head down or bend back, you're breaking your line. You're going to make the turn even harder. Because if you bend your head on your chin on your chest, your hips are going to be out of place, and it's going to be really awkward. Same thing if you look straight back, your hips are going to be more towards the wall, and it's just going to be a really awkward turn. You're almost not going to be able to get a breath because your head will be far back behind you. Look at that nice low breath. Let's go back there real quick. Look at that nice, keeps his head nice and long, nice and low. Gets a good push off. Two-hand touch, boom. So we want to make sure when you're breathing, you want to keep that neck long and make sure you're going to stand nice and low. The air at the top of the bulkhead is the same as the air right at the surface of the water. So you do not need to pull yourself up and out. So those are our open turns. I feel like the last couple of years, we've really used that video effectively. We've really worked on our open turns, and they're doing very well. We're getting a lot better at them, and you can tell at meets. Our open turns are quite good, I feel like. Still can get better at them, but they are quite good. So remember our catechisms. Two-hand touch, drive with your left elbow towards your ribs, your right arm bends towards the wall, bring your knees to your chest, fast, push it in there, fast, stay low, push off the wall with that right arm, drive with your legs. We're going to see this in a little bit with our race videos. Finish on a full stroke. Think about your kick count, your stroke count, and your timing. Keep your feet at 9 o'clock on the wall, not 11 like you do at the flip turn. Head position, keep your neck long. Make sure you have a nice low breath, and you get a good push off. So now we're going to the crossover turn. Now, crossover turn, it's pretty simple, but it has a hard reputation. Where people do it once or twice, like, oh, this is so hard, I can't do this. This is so hard. Well, like we've been talking about, growth mindset, failure is an opportunity to grow. Get better at them. It's time to keep working on them, time to keep better at them. Because like we talked about at the beginning, if you're 11, 12, 13, 14, 10, if you can do an open turn at a meet and do it well, you have an automatic advantage over anybody. Even if they have the world's best back to breast open turn, you could have an average crossover turn and you'll be better than them and you'll be faster than them. So that's why crossover turns are so important. So catechisms for a crossover turn are pretty simple. You're going to touch the wall on your side with your top arm. This is a video right here we're going to watch. This is Eric Chanteau. So notice what he's doing. This is his top arm. Looking at the wall, he's on his side. This is how you're going to touch the wall. He's about to touch the wall. So remember, your top arm, you're coming in, you're swimming backstroke. That top arm is the arm that you just finished the stroke on, and you want to cross almost on your chin if you're looking, it's on your chin, on your cheek if you're looking straight up. If you're on your side, it's going to be kind of on your ear. But it's the top arm. It's not the bottom arm. If you do the bottom arm, you're going to do a normal back to breast turn. A normal back to breast turn uses the bottom arm because you're going from touching to pushing straight off. Crossover turn, you're going to use your top arm. So your head is looking either to the side or it's looking up. The side is a little bit better because that's going to help you with your turn. But you can also look up, especially if you're a beginner at it. It's kind of easier to look up because then you know your shoulder is not going to cross over vertical. And then you're going to flip like a normal flip turn. You're going to see the videos we're going to watch. You flip like a normal flip turn. You come straight over the top like you would. And it's just that simple. Touch on your side, normal flip turn. So we're going to watch a couple videos on this real quick. We're going to watch that Eric Chanteau video that oh, look at that. Great pausing. He talks about it. Looks great. So here he comes in. Touches on his side with his top arm. Look at that. Just a normal flip turn. Touch on your side. That top arm. And look how he does a pull down. So here he comes. This is now from the other side. Touches on his side. And it's a normal flip turn after that. So many times people try to get confused. They try to turn their head to the side. They try to go around the long way. It's just touch, and it's a flip turn. Touch on your side, flip turn. Look how easy that is. You don't even have to overthink it. Touch on your side, and then flip turn. We're going to watch this view, and then we're going to watch Miss Leah Braswell. There's a couple angles of her doing a great one. Fantastic. We'll come back to that in a little bit. That's not the one I want. I wanted the other one first. So here we go. We're going to watch this. This is Leah Braswell doing some crossover turns. Look how she does it. She makes it look so easy. So this is slow motion. That's her top arm. Look at, she's looking at the side, touches, and then she does a normal flip turn. Her feet come over just like you would a normal freestyle or backstroke flip turn. The only difference is she's touching on her side. Boom. So you notice her feet come straight over the top. Look at that. I'm going to pause this right here if I can get there in time. Touching on her side. I can go back. Look at that. Touching on her side. Top arm. Eyes looking to the side. This is perfect right here. Right here. This is awesome. Great setup position. Touches. Look at that. Now she's coming over the top just like she would a normal flip turn. That is professional right there. So we watch this, just a couple tips to look at. It's the easiest way to do a crossover turn is to finish on a full stroke. When you are gliding in, there's more of a chance that you'll rotate on your front or on your back. So like we talked about their open turns, timing is everything. It's best if you finish on a full stroke. Now she's gliding a little bit, but she does a really nice job of being nice and long. The best way to do it is finish on a full stroke. If you finish on too short of a stroke, you're going to jam and your feet are going to come over, almost hit the bulkhead, which is what you don't want. Finish on a full stroke. Keep that backstroke stroke nice and long. Keep that top arm nice and long. That way you don't bend and kind of crush yourself. Finish on a full stroke. And then use the wall as leverage. Like you saw with this video in Eric Chanteau. Push against that wall to help you get over on that flip turn. Use that hand on the wall to kind of push to help you get yourself over. Practice with both hands. If you saw the Eric Chanteau one, he practiced with both hands. Unless you're going to finish on the wall every single time in an IM with the same arm, it's a good idea to practice with both hands. We all have one hand that we're usually better with, but it's best if you practice with both hands. That way you're always prepared at a meet. A lot of times in a race, if someone doesn't do one, they'll come up and say, I was on my bad hand, or I had to practice with both hands. Best chance to do it, practice with both hands. When we have our normal warm-up, we give you plenty of chances to work on it. And throughout the practice, we give you guys plenty of chances to work on it. Use it to your advantage. And then afterwards, like we saw with Mr. Eric Chanteau, do a breaststroke pull down afterwards. Do it. Practice it. How many times do we get into a meet? Someone does a crossover turn for the first time. It's great. It's fantastic. Oh, I'm so happy for them. And then they just pop up and start swimming breaststroke with no pull down. Boo. Do a pull down. Practice it. Practice it. It's the easiest thing to do after you're done. Just practice it. Kick, down, sneak and kick. You can do it. I believe in you. You'll have enough air. And that's why finishing on a full stroke and not gliding in is so beneficial. because that way you'll have as much air as possible to do one. Practice, practice, practice. Give you plenty of chances to work on it. Do it. It's just a normal flip turn, but you're touching on your side, your top arm. So before we get into some trivia, we're going to watch some races, which is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to watch a couple of each. So the first one you're going to watch is this year's women's SEC championships. We're going to watch Erica Brown. Yes, Andy D, I do remember when you were criticizing this video in practice. So we're going to watch. This is the 100 fly. This is the American record. She went 49.38 in the 100 fly. So it's going to be very obvious to what we're going to watch in a second. If you'd like to follow along, the video's in the chat. So you're going to watch lane 5 right here in the middle. You're going to watch her open turns. You're going to watch how low she stays and how long she can stay underwater. That means you know she's getting a good breath and she's getting a good turn. This is Erica Brown from Tennessee, American record holder. Know she's getting a good bend and push off that wall. That 100 flash is already biting at the end of everybody. Now, if you can tell, the 100 fly, you get pretty tired going that last wall. Got to make sure that when you're doing that last turn, you are still bending and pushing. When you get tired on turns, usually the first thing that I see that goes is the bend. Everyone just kind of touches, flops off, and pushes off. You're making yourself slower. So when you're doing your turn, especially that last one, when you're tired, make sure you're bending and still pushing off with that right hand. Bend with that right hand, get a good push, even when you're tired. It's going to help you. It's going to help you get faster, maintain your momentum, and you're going to have a better turn because of that. And you have to swim less. And we're all about swimming less in the 100 fly short course. Look how low she's staying. Look how she's driving her knees to her chest. Just a fantastic swim. Last turn, getting tired, still has a good turn. Comes up about 12 and a half. 49.38, just an awesome swim. Sweet. I can't wait for when someone in this group, in this Google Meet, breaks that. It's going to be sweet. All right, let's watch some breaststroke now. Who's going to be the one that goes 49.37? That's going to be my question. All right, you can follow along in the chat. I just posted the breaststroke. So this is this. So same idea as the open, same idea in the open turns as in butterfly. Touch with two hands, bend, drive. This you can see a really good video because this camera angle is a little bit better. So you're gonna watch white cap right here, right under yellow cap. I want you to notice how he always finishes on a full stroke. He's rarely gliding in and he rarely jams his walls. Look how fast he gets off the walls. If you want to have good fast turns, you got to drive your knees up to your chest fast. That's good core right there. Boom, full stroke. He powered off that wall. This is Ian 30. As you can see in the title, he was the first man ever under 50 seconds in the 100 breast. Same idea. That last turn, you're really feeling your forearms. You're really feeling it in your calves. Got to power through. That finish on a full stroke too. Nothing was left to chance that race. He finished every wall on a full stroke. Brought it back 26.43, his last 50. So if he brought it back 26.43 and he went 49, what do you think this first 50 was then? You do the math. If he went 49 and he brought it back in 26, you do the math what his first 50 was. So let's take a look at his turns one more time. Notice how he's bending and he's driving off, bringing his knees to his chest right away. As soon as he touches and bends, those knees are right at his chest. Good pull downs. Tacks the wall. He's going to finish on a full stroke. I don't know if you guys saw that in the video, but you could tell he was in a weird spots. That second to last stroke, he glided a split second longer than he normally does. Go back and watch the video again if you have free time. Well, we all know we have free time, but watch that last turn. Watch how he has a little bit longer of a second to last stroke because he knows if he takes his normal strokes, he's going to jam it. So you have time. Let's just watch it. We got time. So here he comes. Normal stroke. A little bit longer. There he goes. I hope you guys, we're watching it one more time. So here he comes. Normal stroke. Normal stroke. Oh, sorry, that was a little bit longer one. My timing's all messed up. Normal. Look how he's attacking. Look at his tempo. 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 Stroke. Stroke a little bit longer. And then he attacks down a full stroke. So that's knowing your timing. That is knowing how many strokes you need to take in a 25 and 100 breast. That's great swimming right there. That's next level thinking. Awesome. So now we're going to watch a 200 IM by Miss Beta Nelson from the Wisconsin Badgers. Feel free to follow along in the chat. He took it out 23-2. Brought it back 26-4. He went out 23-2. So here we go. The race just started. If you're watching my screen, if you want to follow on the chat, the race starts right away. We're watching red cap right up top in lane 3. Watching Miss Beta, who swam for a Mass and Aquatic Club. All right, so we're going to watch her crossover turn. Watch her crossover turn. Here we go. We're into backstroke. Without a doubt, Beta's best stroke. She's worked a lot on her breaststroke, which is great, which is why she's able to win this. Good underwaters, and here we go. She's going to finish on a full stroke, and she's going to attack that crossover turn. Full stroke, boom, turn. Look at that. Everyone in that field did it. All 8 ladies did it. Look at that. They all did pull-downs afterwards, too. So let's watch it one more time. Here it comes. She's charging the wall. She's accelerating into her turn. Full stroke, turn, boom. Everyone does it. Everyone did it. Accelerate into your turn. Touch on your side. Normal flip turn. Make sure you're touching that top arm. And then you guys are home for it. And then a pull down afterwards. Good pull down from B. We're going to finish this one up. Then we'll watch one more race. Then we'll do some trivia. You can tell she's worked a lot on her breaststroke because now she's pulling ahead almost on that breaststroke. And freestyle, it's all over. And you can totally see Coach Christy Brager jumping around on the pool deck. Look at her go. Go, Christy! She's freaking out. Go, Christy. Keep jumping. Look, go. Yeah, Coach Christy. And B is happy because she had a great crossover turn. Awesome. All right. Last video we're going to watch. We're going to watch only a little part of it because it is a 400 IM. The best race ever. So we're going to watch Ella Easton. We're not going to watch the whole thing. But we are going to watch the backstroke. So remember, in a 400 IM, you have done a 100. Oh, that good timing. You've done a 100 fly and you've done a 100 back. You're tired. It is tiring to do a 400 IM. But you still have to do a crossover turn. Still have to do it. And you still have to do a pullout afterwards. It's hard. It's extremely hard. But that's why you got to practice. That's why we do IM Mondays, especially you're in that 400 IM group. We work a lot on that transition of going back to breast because that is so important because not everyone's able to do it. Not everyone's tough enough to do it. They wimp out. We're going to be the tough ones. We're professionals that do it because you got in a 400 IM. Look at that. 400 IM. She does it. Second place does it. Third does it. Fourth place does it. Fifth does it. Sixth, seventh, eighth. They all do it. And they all do pull downs afterwards. In a 400 IM. After a 100 fly and a 100 back, you got to do it. You gotta do it. Touch on your side, top arm. Boom. Look at that, 100 fly and 100 back, 153. Whew, that's speed. All right, so it's time for some trivia. Time for some trivia. So, let's do this thing. So remember, you don't have to spam your answers in the chat. Just one answer per. So here we go. What's not a catechism for an open turn? Is it A, two-hand touch, B, knees to chest, C, head steady and level, or D, stay low? What's not a catechism for an open turn? Is it A, two-hand touch, B, knees to chest, C, head steady and level, or D, stay low? All right, give you guys another couple seconds. All right, let's see how we did. It is D, C, head steady and level. Head steady and level. You want to keep it nice and straight, but that is not one of our catechisms. Head steady and level. Where should your feet be on the wall? It should say in an open turn. Where should your feet be on the wall in an open turn? Is it A, 9 o'clock, or B, 3 o'clock? Where should your feet be on the wall in an open turn? Is it A, 9, or B, 3? Where should your feet be on the wall? Should be a pretty easy one. It should be A, 9. You want your feet at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. Now, if 12 o'clock is straight up and down on the wall, 9. Picture where 9 would be. What should you do with your head? Once again, this is for an open turn. What should you do with your head? Should you tuck it into your chest, keep it long, or C, bend it backwards? What should you do with your head in an open turn? A, tuck it into your chest so your chin is touching your chest. Is it B, keep it long, or is it bend it backwards where the back of your head is touching your neck? A, tuck it into your chest. B, keep it long. C, bend it backwards. Answer is B, keep it long. You don't want to touch your chin to your chest, and you certainly don't want to bend your head back to touch your neck. Keep it long. Get a good sneaky breath. Keep it low. You'll be off to the races. Last question. Where do you touch on a crossover turn? Do you do top hand on your front? Bottom hand on your front? Bottom hand on your back? Top hand on your side? Is it top hand on your front? Bottom hand on your front? Bottom hand on your back? Top hand on your side? Where do you touch on a crossover turn? Top hand front, bottom hand back, top hand side. We all should have gotten this one. D, top hand on your side. I do not know how you would do top hand on your front. You'd have to cross over in like the back of your head. It would look very bizarre. And like we talked about, we know we don't touch with our bottom hand. Our bottom hand, that is a normal backstroke to breaststroke turn. And that is gross. We don't want to do that. Let's see how we all did. Excellent. I'm liking this. I'm liking this. Like to see all these good answers here. Loving it. You guys are so smart. You guys have a good presenter. So, hope you guys all had a good time today. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you guys soon. Keep up with school. Keep up with all the good dry on you guys have been doing. I love seeing all these videos. And we'll see you guys soon. I hope you guys had a good... We all got one wrong! Aw, which one did you guys get wrong? Gabby Blake. 3? Which one was number 3? Megan. Which one was number 3? Gabby. See you later, girls. And he's mean.